Hitesh Jain is Sanjay Dutt's lawyer, taking full advantage of the weakness and incompetence of the system. Shaina NC is a BJP member of the National Executive, and YP Singh is with me here in the studio. So Hitesh, did authorities specifically tell you that Sanjay Dutt did not have to surrender? Did anybody tell you that Sanjay Dutt did not have to surrender? Because I'm sick of this joke that you've made of the system. Did the authorities tell you specifically that Sanjay Dutt did not have to surrender?
Let us know the facts exactly.
No, did authorities tell you specifically that Sanjay Dutt did not have to surrender?
The authorities
yes
have
or
not,
no?
Authorities have not told us anything.
Oh, the authorities have not told you anything, and Sanjay. So you have been quoted as saying that you saw the Minister of State for Home making an announcement to that effect on TV. Did you say that?
I don't think I have been quoted.
So on what basis did Sanjay Dutt decide not to go to jail, go back to jail?
Well,
on what basis?
Yesterday he had gone to surrender.
On what basis did he decide not to go to jail? Be quick with the answer, please.
Yesterday he had gone to surrender. While he was ready to surrender, there was a news flash on the channel.
Oh God!
That the application for extension application, the decision is pending.
Here it is, YP Singh, on the basis of television reports. Look at the absurdity of the system. And the hashtag tonight is bend it for that. Let it be known across the country how the rules are bent for superstars who then complain, oh, we are victimized, right? So, on the basis of TV reports, Sanjay Dutt decides there's no need to surrender. YP Singh, I think the Chief Minister...
This is my friend Hitesh Jain, who's making his own laws, and as a lawyer, he's implementing those laws. He should know one thing, that the law mandates that if a procedure has been prescribed under that law, expediency or logic doesn't work vis-a-vis that particular law.
Precisely.
So what he has done is an absolute violation of the law, because the law clearly says there has to be a specific written extension which has to be with an application.
Was there one in this case?
With reasons.
Was there one in this case?
Not at all. Not at all.
Was there one in this case, Hitesh? Was there one in this case?
Arnab, you and YP can shout.
No, was there one in this case?
Unless you are not allowing...
Was there one in this case? Why did he not surrender?
Unless you are not going to allow me to point...
Don't complain about not being allowed to speak. I asked you repeated questions. You're not being able to answer.
You are interjecting me every moment.
How do you decide on the basis of a TV report that you don't have to go to jail? This is the first time it's happening probably in the history of independent India.
Shouting is not going to get you any
how do you
answers.
decide that...
Okay, let me answer.
No, first of all, you're not doing a privilege by answering. I'm asking you a question. How do you decide that Dutt need not surrender on the basis of TV reports?
Simple.
Yeah.
The period for furlough started on 24th of January.
Why did he not surrender? Did anybody tell you he does not have to surrender?
We made an application on 27th. Now, if the application is not decided within 14 days, then and it is not rejected within those 14 days, then it is deemed to be granted.
How do I know there is no understanding between you and the state government?
There is a concept of deeming provision of law. There is nothing to do with the understanding of state government. Arnab, let's first discuss what is the deemed, whether there is a deemed provision under the law, deemed permission is available.
You see, Sanjay Dutt applied...
Deemed is mentioned in the statute. Unless until deemed is mentioned in the statute, you cannot create your own law.
No.
You are creating your own law.
Even if the statute does not say...
Like in a building proposal, if the reply doesn't come within 60 days, it is specifically written under section 46 of the Town Planning Act that the building proposal is deemed to have been accepted.
Now
show me. Circular doesn't define the law.
Thank you.
Circular is it's the rule which has been made based on prisons.
You see what has happened. What has happened? YP Singh.
We can shout on the channel that circular has got no provision of law. There are umpteen judgments of the Supreme Court that circular also has
any circular. Tomorrow, if you say circular, minister can convict. No challenge. They have to be made accountable under the law. They have to be made accountable under the law.
This is a circular issued by the prison authorities as per the prison manual and the rules. So it's a valid circular.
The rules. You know what rule says? Rule says within. See. There has to be a written order. A written order has to be based on application of mine.
Keep on shouting, but if you are aggrieved with the circular, why don't you file?
No,
you filed so many PIL. You filed so many PIL.
Somebody should go and file a criminal case. 224 Indian Penal Code.
So on that also the circular says that 224 Penal Code will only come on the 29th day. That is what the circular says.
Circular doesn't define Indian Penal Code.
So suppose here's a very strange situation. He says government did not act, so my client, the superstar Sanjay Dutt,
the government has got nothing to do. It is the prison authorities who decide the application for furlough. It is prison authorities who decide the application.
Let me remind you that your client Sanjay Dutt has got such a long rope that in December 2013 he was given parole. You were the lawyer on the pretext of tending to his wife. His wife was in reports photographed at film events and a birthday party the next day. I'm not even going there, so you should be a little careful when you
that issue
put out
is
the
done.
facts.
There was a PIL that was filed in the court.
Mr. Hitesh,
nothing happened. On the PIL, they challenged the furlough, parole and all.
Jain.
The High Court did not found anything wrong with the parole because Mr. Dutt was not the only person. There were 8,000 people who were granted parole last time. And furlough is also a common thing.
Mr. Jain, will you concede that your client has been given a long rope just because?
I don't think. In fact,
will you let me complete now, please?
No. I think he is. Merely because he is a celebrity status, therefore this furlough issue is debated. There are 10,000 furlough granted every year. 10,000 applications for extensions are granted. Why are we only choosing his case? Why are we not?
Can you tell me what the? Can you? Because I'll tell you.
Not discussing the
1 second, Mr. Because Mr. Jain, I want you to tell me today. No, I want you to tell me today what were the observations, and you will care to listen today. You will care to listen. You will care to listen because you will have to tell me now on television what the Bombay High Court said.
Yes.
No, 1 minute. What do you mean? Yes, let me complete. While pulling up the previous government for its repeated grant of parole, not furlough, to Sanjay Dutt. You know what it said? And I quote here, and you will have to listen. Why this casual approach for ordinary citizens? You normally would not have shown such diligence in the case of a normal citizen.
Last time I said this was not these are not the words in the High Court. These are not the words.
These are the words of Justices Naresh Patil and B.N. Achalia.
I am ready to. Arnab, I'm telling you, if you will look at the order of the High Court, if you will look at the orders of the High Court, these are not the orders of the High Court.
And you know, Justice Achalia.
Arnab, these words are not there. These are the observations that were made at the time of the hearing, and they are not in the order. They are not the order.
Mr. Jain,
this was just there are questions that are being asked.
1 minute. You know, problem is that Mr. Jain, I am.
This is not the order of the court.
I am telling you again that Sanjay Dutt was released from Yerwada prison for 14 days after complaining of leg pain. My question is, the medical report says she's suffering from TB, manyata, and requires treatment at home. She may require surgery in the future. Right? These are cases where convicts who are themselves suffering, there are cases where convicts themselves suffering from cancer and other life-threatening diseases are not granting parole. We are not saying, Justice Achalia said after producing the report, that his wife is not that ill as it is made out to be. But he said, pain and suffering are equal to all. But this discrimination is done by the state government. In other words, the observations were pretty clear, YP Singh one day. The observation was, on the basis of the superstar status of a person, the state government is being excessively generous to that individual.
I think the observations of the High Court were based on some rational basis. They were not just made offhand. According to Mr. Jain, these observations don't have any standing at all. Yes. That was based on reason because first of all, you can't claim a negative equality. If everybody is bad,
if those were the observation, why was the parole not set aside? The relief was to sort.
Look,
relief was sought to set aside the parole and this thing. There was the parole was not set aside, and they did not make any observation on the parole that was granted to Mr. Dutt.
So the final order said. So the final never said that the parole is justified.
Kindly read the order.
Legally sustainable.
Mr. YP Singh, I can debate with you on this point if you are going to read the order, and then we can debate. We cannot just discuss off the cuff.
You know what has happened here, viewers? If you are listening to this, I'll just explain what this is about. What has happened here is that perhaps Mr. Hitesh Jain did not think he would be in this position where he would be caught red-handed on this issue. And perhaps even Shaina NC did not think that she would have to answer for what the incompetent state government has done. Now, in this case, my first question, because, you know, what happens is very often there is a social circuit in Delhi and there's a social circuit in Bombay. The social circuit in Delhi, the cocktail circuit thinks it will get away with everything. Similarly, there's a cocktail circuit in Bombay. There are politicians, there are film stars, there are industrialists. They think they will also get away with anything. But we caught them red-handed on this one. First of all, do you admit, Shaina NC, that, you know, the state government was caught red-handed on this one? red-handed trying to, give a long rope to Sanjay Dutt. Why this hypocrisy after having made the same thing on Sanjay Dutt a huge issue when the Congress government was in power? Why, please? Can you explain?
Now, if you have the patience to listen to me, I'll start. Our Chief Minister, Mr. Devendra Fadnavis, has said on record, and I'd like to quote what he said. The government will strictly adhere to rules whilst deciding on the furlough.
That's today. That's today. You tell me the time. When did he tweet this? Today, this evening, around 6 o'clock.
Victimizing anybody.
No.
Law treats all equal.
Miss Shaina NC. That's theoretical stuff.
Every person.
That's theoretical stuff. Theoretical stuff. Theoretical stuff.
Prison authorities.
Theoretical stuff.
Mr. Goswami.
Theoretical stuff, Miss Shaina NC.
Authorities and the DG of the prison who decides
theoretical
whether
stuff.
furlough should be given or not.
No.
14 days. But you are fighting the system. You are fighting the system and the basic right of any prisoner.
Right? Okay. So Shaina, 1 minute. Shaina NC, let me tell you. Shaina NC, first of all. Shaina NC. Miss Shaina, 1 minute. Hear the question, right? Sanjay Dutt applied for an extension of his furlough on December 27th. What am I saying? In this case, Sanjay Dutt, his lawyer, state government, everybody thought, it's New Year time, nobody will notice, extended by a few days, carry on, buy time, what happens? But nobody, and I know there are sections of the media which will not even ask questions on this one. I won't get into reasons why. In this case, Sanjay Dutt applies for an extension when YP Singh, December 27th. It was known that his furlough was to end yesterday. Why was a decision not taken before that? Why are the authorities dithering for 10 days? Didn't or did the Minister of State for Home say his surrender was not necessary till the police gives its report and the authorities decide on the furlough extension plea as claimed by Dutt's lawyers? In other words, what is happening is very convenient. The government does not decide. Lawyers say government does not decide. Sanjay Dutt goes back home. And you thought nobody will notice. 10 days you don't decide on a furlough application. I don't think it happens anywhere in the world. Does it happen anywhere in the world? Shaina, just tell me that.
May I reply now?
No, I'm not even charging leniency. Is this just incompetence? You're saying it's incompetence.
Now? Of course there are... No, but 1 minute.
You're saying it's incompetence.
Of course, there are lacunas in the system.
No, not lacuna.
All need to collectively
no, it's not lacuna. The laws are there.
Chief Minister of this state.
Why? No, why was it? Why was
the prison authorities who decide?
The prison authorities are the
and government are two different identities.
Again, you're making a mistake.
You are again. There are three. We have a completely separate.
Prison
authorities are independent. So you mean to say
this is so wonderful?
So you mean to say tomorrow if the police commissioner in exercise of his power decide it is the decision of the government?
Mr. Lawyer, let me tell you something. 1 sec. We have a very intelligent lawyer in the studio today. The very intelligent lawyer, his name is Hitesh Jain. Hitesh, and we have a very intelligent politician also. So what happens? The lawyer says, I can't do anything government didn't do. You go to the politician says, we wanted to do, there are lacuna in the system, but don't ask us, ask the prison authorities. So, this passing the parcel, passing the buck happens. Rajendra Dhamane, I go into details of this case.
Have a chief minister make a statement like
Today, after it becomes a media issue.
But no action.
Tonight.
He should act.
He says it.
He should not speak, he should act.
The chief minister need not act on the basis of...
Let me open up the phone lines on this one.
Chief minister has to...
We are opening up the phone lines on this one.
Suspend these guys.
Chief minister has to act in accordance with the law and not get bowed down by such pressures.
I'm opening the phone lines.
Such
lines are open now. We'll put it on the grid.
Should not compel the chief minister. The chief minister should be above the debates in the studio. The chief minister is not here to look at the debate. Look at the debates in the public studio. Really? And all. He has to look at the
really, Mr. Hitesh Jain,
and decide according to the law.
Hitesh Jain, be careful, because the last chief minister who said that, who said we don't have to decide what we do based upon what happens in a Times Now studio, was Ashok Chavan. And you know what he had to do eventually because of the debates in the studio.
Mr.
Hitesh Jain, the question is
the chief minister has to decide in accordance with the law.
Yeah, and why are you bringing in? You make a mockery of the law?
What
you make a mockery of the law?
Who is making the mockery of the law? It is the prison authorities who have to decide. I think we are completely digressing from the topic. Let's also...
Chief minister should take 3 actions. Number 1.
Let's put it on the grid, please, that lines are open.
It is also very important. It is also very important that we, as a responsible citizens, place correct facts before.
Now, Hitesh Jain,
let's look at this opportunity as about so many various prisoners who are languishing in the jail.
Mr. Jain,
and we have to see that if somebody like Mr. Sanjay Dutt has suffered like this, what will happen to the
I'll tell you how Sanjay Dutt has suffered. By the way, I'll open up the phone lines on this one. You see, problem in India is...
May I just...
watch it. Politicians have been treated with kid gloves. And somewhere there's a film star. Please listen.
It is very easy.
I don't have it. There is a little bit
easy to pick up the soft target. And
in our country, there's a little bit of a film star obsession. So politicians think they can be soft with film stars. Tomorrow, these film stars will go and campaign for them, and all will be hunky-dory between the politicians and the film stars. We break the nexus. In this case, lines are open now. Rajendra Dhamane, Deputy Inspector General. Next question coming your way. Shaina NC, the next question is for you. Shaina NC, the next question is for you. Lines are opening up. The debate is hotting. Shaina NC, my question is to you. The Deputy Inspector General of Prisons, who you now blame, is Rajendra Dhamane. He's in Pune. He's quoted as saying they have asked the Mumbai Police to verify if the reasons cited by Sanjay Dutt, and by the way, my question tonight is bend it for Dutt. Do you think laws have been bent too often for Sanjay Dutt? Now, the Pune officer says we are asking the Mumbai officer to verify if the reasons given by Sanjay Dutt for an extension were true. But, and here's where the story gets intricate. The Joint Police Commissioner Law and Order, Dhanjay Kamlakar, who is the in charge of all the 93 police stations in Mumbai, right, has denied receiving any such request. I don't understand. How can there be such a lack of coordination on the Sanjay Dutt case between all agencies? YP Singh, explain this one.
This is
what is this?
This is certainly a case
caught
of
red-handed.
This is certainly
red-handed.
This is certainly a case of profound nexus. If the Chief Minister is honest, he should take 3 sets of action. Let me speak. Number one, now let me say. Number one, under the Maharashtra, under the government. Now listen.
You are from the police.
Now listen.
You are from the police department. You are aware there are lapses that have been happened. Now listen. And you are also aware.
You know Maharashtra Government Servants Act.
Mr. YP Singh, you are aware that the police authorities decide independently of the government.
Look,
don't try to blame the lapses on the government. It is very fashionable.
Let him enumerate.
It is very fashionable to blame.
Action number one. Suspend the person who
only
has not
shout.
Suspend
only shout and shout.
Section 10 of
that doesn't make you right.
Act. He should be placed as the person who delays file beyond 7 days. Action should be taken against him. Number two, suspend.
It can be a good entertaining this thing, but we are not helping the cause. Mr. YP Singh, we are shouting by shouting. We do not help the cause. Let's have a proper debate.
Do you want to argue on fact or no? Do you want to argue?
Informed debate. Mr. YP Singh, can you please answer my one question?
In the court, do you interrupt? The judge will say, keep chat.
But
the judge will say, let the other party speak.
If we are not placing proper facts...
Okay, so here's a question. No, you want proper facts.
Mr. YP Singh, you are also aware. You are from the same department. You are aware about the lapses.
I am aware.
In fact, you are aware that the police authorities, your department is independent of the state government.
The debate which is going on in the studio is very interesting. What has happened tonight? Tonight, this whole story of Sanjay Dutt's furlough has been caught red-handed. I do believe that Times Now is the only news channel which has really pushed the inconsistencies in this case. And watch it. My question, therefore, to Shaina NC is this. Please consider the absurdity. After spending 118 days earlier, plus another 14 days of out of prison since May 2013, which is the suffering that Sanjay Dutt goes through, Sanjay Dutt is again sitting at home today because the great state government of Maharashtra cannot decide for the last almost 2 weeks what to do with the...
It is the prison authorities who will decide.
Are the prison government... No, watch it. I've heard this from you.
They are independent authorities. The state government has got no pervasive... They have got no power under the prison rules. They are the... They are the independent authorities, and without getting influenced by any person, they can decide. Tomorrow, if they take the decision, they are on their own accord. They are entitled to take. Let us also place these facts also very clearly. That prison authorities are separate authorities. There are regulations in accordance with the regulations.
Mr. Jain, you know what happens is lawyers are smart. They can get away up to a point. They can. 1 minute. Let me complete now. They can get away up to a point. They are smart. They take advantage of loopholes. What do politicians do?
What is the loophole?
What do politicians do? All that politicians have to do in a case like this is turn a blind eye and say, oh, is that so? Today Devendra Fadnavis is reacting. Oh, is this so? Oh, the status will be equal. Don't worry. It's come out in the media, is it? Let me quickly put out. Let me quickly put out 2 tweets. The question is, if no decision,
if you have to make out a news
China NC, and in fact, I'm telling you, I'll be very happy. You can call Sanjay Dutt right now and say he should come on the news. Question is tonight, China NC. If no decision is taken regarding the extension of furlough till the deadline of surrender, shouldn't the extension application have been considered cancelled?
Yes.
Yes.
And I feel there are lacunas in the system. If you give me a chance to respond, then I can speak.
Why do the lacuna work only for people like superstars, politicians, etc.?
The prison authorities do work independently of the state government.
So which prison authorities should be sacked?
Thousands of cases where people have been given furlough with extension of another 14 days, all of which you are choosing not to highlight.
Miss China NC, you went on record. One second. You went on record. Miss China NC. China NC,
that there is no victimization and no discrimination.
Miss China NC, I'm not saying.
He is not just making a statement.
Miss China NC, Miss China NC,
this is because we believe that the law is equal for all.
Miss China NC, you see, I often observe that the position of the BJP, because you know what happens in India is basically it's a rule of the establishment. Nothing much changes between Congress and BJP. Establishment changes, beneficiaries change. China NC, you are the same person. I have a good archive in this channel. You are the same person who went on record to attribute the change in parole rules to the stringent position the BJP took on which case? Sanjay Dutt case. When did you do it? February 2014. So by the same logic, and I can quote you, you can now be blamed for the fact that Sanjay Dutt is sitting at home because the authorities cannot decide whether or not the furlough should be extended. It's your quote. Can I quote what you said when you took credit for the government's decision to amend the Prison Manual Act? Did you take credit for the government's decision to amend the Prison Manual Act?
The difference between parole and furlough.
My God, you know, it's the same BJP that criticized the government for its lenient attitude to Sanjay Dutt.
Which has always been an area.
Did you not criticize the government for its lenient attitude to Sanjay Dutt?
Absolutely different between parole and furlough.
No, it's
we have a doctrine of separation of power under the Constitution.
Don't give me that. Don't give me that. That doesn't work here. Please.
Of course it works. When it is not convenient for you,
it works for a channel where people don't know the law.
When it doesn't work for you, say it's not.
One second. Worse than furlough.
Yeah.
Because consequences both, they are out there. Furlough is
why are we digressing from the topic? Why are we digressing from the topic? Why are we digressing from the topic? Why are we digressing from the topic?
Exceptional circumstance.
Let's not digress from the topic. Let's also look at why are we digressing from the topic? Why are we digressing from the topic?
Why are not digressing?
The way parole is given in the rarest of the rare case, and he gets the parole. Then first extension 30 days, another extension 30 days, total 90 days. This is unprecedented.
I mean, is the law
never happened.
Not unprecedented.
Furlough maybe, but not parole.
Has been granted for 5 to 6 months.
It is rarest of the rare cases.
It is not. So don't
rarest
say
of the rare case. His was rarest of the rare case.
So this is not a. I mean,
it is not a rare case. Rarest of the rare case.
How did the BJP government?
When I say that there are people
Question tonight.
5 and 6 months, you say rarest of the rare case. So first be careful. This is not unprecedented enough.
Question without
I like it. Hitesh, I like it.
When I like it. There are people who have got 5 or 6. There are people who have got 6 months, 8 months parole. It's all very.
Okay, so consider this. Consider this. Zebunisa Kazi. Consider this. Zebunisa Kazi, 70-year-old, was convicted under TADA in the 1993 bomb blast case. Was denied parole in October 2013. Right? Wait, let me complete. You know, I like it when lawyers say, "You be careful. Try that on other channels where people don't know the law or the facts.
Why should you bring Zebunisa Kazi every time?
I'll tell you.
Because this is a form debate I'm coming.
Yeah,
every time Sanjay Dutt comes, you bring Zebunisa Kazi.
Okay, so
how is that?
Because
she applied for law.
Because
she has been also granted for law.
Because, and hear me now.
Every time you cannot bring that Zebunisa Kazi.
Hear me now. I am telling you, hear me now. for the simple reason that the cases of Zebunisa Kazi, and don't interrupt me, when I am thinking, I'm putting something through, don't disturb my thought. The cases of Zebunisa Kazi and Sanjay Dutt are in stark contrast for the simple reason, if you care to know, that Zebunisa Kazi, after the parole in October was denied, had to approach the Home Ministry in November. And while her appeal with the Home Ministry was pending, she approached the Bombay High Court. She was granted parole in January by the State Home Department while her appeal with the Bombay High Court was still there. It was only in January. And listen here, after Sanjay Dutt's parole extension date, January 20th, that Zebunisa Kazi was also given parole. Sanjay Dutt did not have to go through what Zebunisa Kazi did.
Zebunisa Kazi is convicted under Tata. Sanjay Dutt is not convicted under Tata.
Okay, so why was Zebunisa? Why was okay? So here's a question. Why was here's a question. Now you'll be completely and totally, since you decided to take me on, I'll take you on. Why was Zebunisa Kazi's appeal to the Home Ministry, right, after the rejection of her parole by the state government in November, kept pending for 10 weeks before she was finally granted parole?
Previous regime to answer.
Oh, that's for the previous. Pass the buck. Okay, take the case of Mujib Parker, who was also convicted in 1993 blast case. Parker, who was sentenced for 5 years by a Tata court, was granted parole once but was denied a second time when he applied to attend to his wife. So a normal man wants to attend to his wife, rejected. Sanjay Dutt can want to attend to his wife multiple times, and the wife can be found at filmy parties after that. How is that okay? Tell me.
That is for the prison authority.
That is for the prison authority to decide. Case number 3 now. Consider the case of Baburao Panjabao Harne in February 2014. Murder convict undergoing lifetime. His application for parole was on the ground that his wife is suffering from cancer, rejected by the Amravati Divisional Commissioner on the ground that his wife is not suffering from any serious ailment. Wife suffering for cancer, for Aam Aadmi not allowed. For Manyata allowed. Manyata will be seen at parties later. Why is it allowed? Tell me now why.
That is for the Amravati prison authorities.
To decide. So on each of
there is a mechanism. You file a writ petition. There is a writ petition. You can file in. There is a procedure to challenge the order.
It's about one.
There is no party to the connivance.
It's all about this.
I think we are. You cannot make
connivance. And
you compare apple with apple. Don't mix apple and orange.
Compare
apple with apple.
This is. I'd say first of all, take that comment back. Apple with apple. One second. This is such a insulting comment that I am on record going to ask Hitesh Jain to take it back. When I'm giving examples of different people, Aam Aadmi, whether Mujib Parker, Zebunisa Kazi or Baburao Harne, he says compare apples with apples. In other words, he's saying don't compare film stars with the Aam Aadmi. And you are saying that film stars are apples and Aam Aadmi are oranges.
Each case has to be looked on the facts.
First of all, apologize for your comment.
I'm not going to apologize because I made a proper statement.
Yeah, of course. Film stars who can afford expensive lawyers like you.
It is not film stars and this thing. If you make a wrong, if you are giving wrong.
So what happened in this case?
There's no question of apology.
Now I go back to Shaina and say I'm going to take a couple of questions. Phone lines are burning behind us tonight. In February 2014, the question was of messaging. 1 second. Humility. Vinod Taude. Vinod Taude in February 2014, Shaina NC says, while Sanjay Dutt may be technically correct, the government must be careful of the kind of message being conveyed to society. Right? That nobody should be favored. How come today, after coming to power, you don't worry about the kind of message being conveyed to society?
Arnab, if I can be extremely honest with you, the systematic failures that we see in day-to-day living of all, I think need to be debated seriously. You have archaic laws, you have the prison authorities, you have the police, you have the state government, all of whom need to take
couple of questions.
As this, highlight the pros and cons of how a common man can apply for furlough, what are the prerogatives of the government and the prison authorities, how the extension should happen if it needs to happen, and if you have a dynamic, honest chief minister who is showing political will by coming on record to saying he doesn't want to victimize people,
now it is after 2 weeks.
That speedy justice.
After 2 weeks, you see, Shaina, your leaders used to say, will other prisoners or those involved in terror acts ask for continuous parole, get benefits, wrong message going out, etc. Today, I am only saying this, our responsibility in the media is to sometimes remind you that you will not be allowed to get away. You get 10 out of 10 seats tomorrow. If there are 500 seats in Parliament, you win 500. Or you win all the states in the Assembly. This is such a double standards here.
Right.
This is such double standards.
We will do what is right.
No, okay, so should we open up to phone lines tonight? Let's put this to the test. 5 more minutes on the call. On the debate, we'll take as many calls. Jinil is calling from Vadodara. Jinil, good evening.